I'm sure you guys remember Darren Lynn Bousman. I think he directed like a bunch of Saw movies, like maybe 3 or 4 Saw movies. And then he did like, what's it called, The Barons or something like that. On commentary for that movie, he was like, this is my career, downward spiraling. I don't know if I go that far, but he's doing straight to disc movies, which this year, that's pretty much all you get. This is Death of Me. A interesting little deal here. It's kind of got a bit of a creative aspect to it. This is, of course, released already at Walmart right now. I seen it yesterday from Lionsgate. They sent me, of course, this, but it's about a couple. They're in a foreign land, and then they go out partying, whatever, and they wake up, and they're kind of dirty, and they look pretty worse for wear, and they try to figure out what exactly happened. So that kind of sounds like The Hangover. So it's a little hangover-ish at that point, but nonetheless, they find a cell phone, and immediately from that point, I thought that this whole thing was going to be cell phone footage, but it's not. But it shows them what happened the night before, and it's pretty weird. I ain't gonna spoil it, even though I think the back of it probably spoils it if you read it. But nonetheless, I see something on the video which is beyond logic and beyond reason. So then they go on a quest to figure out what exactly is going on, while the female lead of the movie seems to have a whole lot of problems, which include vomiting dirt at some point. So it's it's different. I'll give them that much. It's different. Uh, it's kind of got a bit of a, I don't know, kind of a Wicker Man feel to it in some ways, and I don't mean that like necessarily in the classic Wicker Man way, but kind of like the newer remake from, I guess even that was like years ago now. But they go through the town trying to figure out what happened, and they retrace their steps and they try to find people that was in the video, and everybody in the town is just super weird. It does have the girl from was it Starry Eyes, I believe, is in this. She plays a pretty good role. She's not the lead, but she's in it quite a bit. She's the person that actually tries to check into the hotel room that they're supposed to be checked out of when they can't find their passports and get off of the island. And then you realize why they're not being allowed to get off the island here later on. And you realize what happened the night before and how it ties into a whole bunch of really complicated things. So I give it points for being different. It is different in some ways, even though it kind of borrows from maybe some other stuff we've seen. But it's worth a watch, but I wouldn't call it like by any means great. You know, it'll get you through one good solid watch. It gets interesting. There's a little bit of like some cringy things in the far, and I don't mean that like in a bad way. I mean like there's some gore things that happen that kind of makes you squirm a little bit. But outside of that, it holds its own, but it doesn't, excel into any new heights or anything. I don't think you'll see it on any top 10 list at the end of the year, but it is worth a watch if you have nothing else to watch. And I've enjoyed most of Darren Lynn Bousman's movies for the most part. And like I said, this is from Lionsgate. It's got a nice little slip case if you find it. Walmart's got the DVD. There may be a Blu-ray there, I don't know. Mine seems to be a little bit more hit and miss on such things, but and the leading chick, Maggie Q, who was in quite a few things, she's good in this. She's pretty good in this. Luke Hemsworth, I assume this is Thor's brother or cousin or something. He's not so much, but everything else works. There's a few surprises along the way, and it ends in an interesting fashion. But still, at the end of the day, on my 5 scale, it gets a 2.5. I don't see anything on the back about, oh, there it is, Island Magic, Conjuring Death of Me. That's the only extra on this, but I'm sure you get some trailers at the start of it. I actually redeemed my code and watched it on Vudu, so it's okay. 2.5 out of 5. Death of Me at Walmart right now from Lionsgate. Give it a watch.